Hey friends, I am excited that I have the opportunity to be with yet another friend to share with you some great lessons from the dirty F word. Yes, we're talking about our failures and nobody likes the dirty F word, but we can learn so much from them. And so I am really excited to be able to introduce you to my friend from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I used to live there. And this is Ann Nur. And Ann, thank you for your time. Tell folks a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much, Amy. Basically, I'm been in accounting for over 30 years, and I've always had a passion for film. So when I was laid off, I'm at 61 now. When I was laid off, I took that time to say, you know what, this is the time to do it. You're never too old to do a pivot of your life or things that you really want to go after. So I've been so much involved in film, in organizations, and I've been a producer on some films, local films now, and it's just become such a passion that I can't, steer away from it and say, let's continue on that path of what I was doing before.
Now, you've got some well known friends. A lot of
Yes.
people may not know the name Dan Roebuck, but tell folks your friend Dan Roebuck and some of the amazing national films that he's been in that people would recognize.
He's been in, he was born in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Then he went out to Hollywood to do acting and everything else. He's done TV shows from Lost to Matlock, which a lot of people recognize him. He's done The Fugitive and so many more. I actually interviewed him the other day and I had to read them off. I need a list because there's so much. He's all actually overseas right now. But he came back and decided that he loves the Lehigh Valley so much, he wanted to do films here. And we have such an up and coming film community that it fills my heart with joy at the people and what we're doing. And anything I can do to promote that and to move that forward is what we want to do. So yeah, he has helped tremendously. We're already talking about our next film. We hope to shoot this summer, and it's called The Hail Mary.
Now, help people understand, you know, people expect you to be an accountant.
Yes.
And if you're in film, people expect you to live in either New York City or really the Los Angeles, California area. And you live in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which for folks who don't know, I'd say it's about 90 minutes away from New York City.
Something like that, yeah. A little bit over that, yeah, yeah.
But even though you were doing accounting, you were still dabbling in what was your passion, correct?
Yes, I actually started years ago. My father, he's passed away in 2006. He got me going on Arts Quest, which is Music Fest at the time. And he and his team, they were called the Great Team, got involved in it. And I'm like, I really like that. I really like the community aspect of Music Fest and everything else. So I got involved in that. But I've always done some things in films. When I saw that there was a film coming into town, if I could help in the office or do anything and learn, I would do that. And so, like I said, I've been with Arts because I'm in the Performing Arts Board. I'm still chair of the Cinema Committee. I'm on other boards, Southside Film Festival we have here, and then also FIFO, which is a film consortium group in Easton, on that board. And we're just like growing the film in the Lehigh Valley. And Danny came in under FIFO and he called me the one day and said, hey, do you want to get involved? I'm like, of course I do. Yes, for Getting Grace that we did in 2016. So, I mean, it's been amazing. It's been amazing that this small film community we have. I mean, the larger markets are Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and New York. But I actually have been able to go up to New York a couple times and help at film festivals there. I worked at Tribeca for probably 10, 12 years. Tribeca Film Festival, the bigger one. And then now I'm working for a Big Apple Film Festival as a program and event coordinator. So it's just amazing what's happening now.
But let's talk about what you see as some of your failures in life. Now, at 61 years old, you do not sound like you are slowing down at all.
No, I'm not. Thank God I have a thirst for knowledge and just keep on learning. And I think at my old position, when I was laid off in August of last year, and then it was permanent in December. And, I felt at that time, I was like, I would have been wanting to just settle and then, till retirement and stuff like that. But once this happened, I'm like, let's reevaluate. Let's, go after what you really want to. And all my friends were saying, do this, go after what you really want. You have this opportunity now. This, pandemic was a blessing. I always looked at it as a failure. I felt like, what's happening to me. This is, my career of all these years is going away. But then it just, I always felt not good enough, not good enough, or I never had the expertise that maybe somebody that went through film school or somebody that been a producer and stuff like that. But the only way and the best way to get experience is really to be on a production and just start. And that's what we tell the young people coming in that are in film school, even film school and others. If you want to be a PA, let us know. We can put you on the set. You can learn. You learn so much more by being on set. And so all the film organizations, I've just learned through those. And I'm still learning. I'm now Women in Film organization that's out in LA, member of that. And, we had people from Danny's movies, we had people from California come in, some more experienced people. One of the producers that was out in California while we were here doing the movie, she helped tremendously. And, just to learn, I'm always reading and always on these different podcasts and everything else about film, New York Film Academy, to all the different organizations, Women in Film, and learning and still learning. And I'm so grateful that I still have that thirst for knowledge.
I mean, that is such an amazing thing that often you would think losing a job would be a failure, but it didn't sound like a setback. It sounded like a setup to your second act.
It felt like that in the beginning. You always went into that initial shock that you go through, like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? What's happening? I doubt I'm going to be coming back. Things are not turning around. But then I slowly was like saying, okay, this is my opportunity. What can I do now? This is like, the universe or God just gave me a little push and said, do this now. Don't continue on, your same path. You have a love for it. And, do it now. So I've been doing it. And one lady, just a person of an organization, the local organization here, came to me and she goes, when I think of film, I think of you. In the Lehigh Valley, I think of you. And I'm like, really? And she said, yes. And she goes, because your name is, heard in different organizations and stuff like that. So it was an honor for her to say that. And I might be doing some work with them, so I've always had a 9 to 5, and that was, because that was kind of safe. Let's put it that way. So, I decided to get out of my comfort zone and to do different things. Now I have part-time things all around, and it's new to me because for, like I said, over 30 years, I had the 9 to 5 and everything else. So it's new to me. And so it's so much growth right now. I'm pushing myself and I'm like, wow, I didn't realize you did that. I interviewed Danny the other day and my friends told me, you did great. You did great. You were awesome. You kicked it. And I was like, really? Okay. So I know more and more people want to hear what I have to say. So I need to get more comfortable. And that's what I'm doing.
And you sound comfortable to me. I love what you said about getting out of your comfort zone. I'm a John Maxwell trainer, speaker, and coach, and we talk about New York Times bestselling author John Maxwell, who always says life begins outside of your comfort zone.
Yes.
And so that's such an amazing thing. And you mentioned you're a person of faith too, right, Anne?
Yes. More so since I've been laid off, actually, because I started watching some actually TV and shows that Hunt and Cleveland, I Need to Laugh. And that made me laugh. And then I realized I started watching Touched by an Angel, and I kind of followed Roma Downey, and she has these inspirational things. I actually start my day with her inspirational things before you start the day, look up to God and everything else. And it's been centering, it's been calming before I start my day and everything that's happening. So yeah, I've actually found my way back. I mean, I grew up Moravian and kind of got away from the church. I was what they call a C&E person, which is Christmas and Easter.
Some people call them priesters.
Priesters?
I've heard that phrase.
That's what I was. My brother and sister-in-law are very involved in the church, but I hadn't been. So I'm still not back in the church, but you know what? I've been blessed to be able to, just watch some of these shows. And like I said, her show and read some books. I've had the opportunity to read books, which I haven't had in years to do. So, and I actually read your 7 Ds of Destiny. And that's one book, and this is a compliment to you, one book that I will definitely read again, because if you saw my book, it's all yellow.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, with all, it looks like it's yellow pages versus white. So
But you didn't let the dog pee on it, did you?
No animals. I have no animals, but I had so much highlighter that I actually ran out. The highlighter ran out. I had to get another one to, because there's so much good stuff in there. And then there's other books I'm starting to read. And it's amazing that, if you start believing in yourself, if you start saying, yeah, I am worth, to people and stuff like that. And the big thing is stop comparing.
Oh,
Stop comparing yourself. I'm so bad at that. I compare myself to others. I'm like, oh, they have more money, they have better looks, everything else. And that just brings you down. I mean, and I've done that a lot, and not believe in myself. And more, actually other people are like, you got to believe in yourself. I have some friends that are like, you know what, every time you get down, you got to call me because you're doing some amazing things right now. So keep going.
so many great things. Now, I just have to share. So I was in church this morning, and in the middle of the sermon, he had a quote that it hit me upside the head and said, when you talk to Ann today, you've got to share this with you. And he said, God is able to look at our history and say it has nothing to do with our destiny.
Oh, I like that a lot.
So there's something new and bigger. Yes, you learn things along the way. You've always been in film kind of part-time, often on a volunteer basis, right?
In a lot of different organizations, yeah, that I mentioned before, like FIFO, Southside
What's
Film Festival.
FIFO for folks who don't know?
I'm sorry, FIFO is Fade In, Fade Out. And it's a film consortium group in Easton that Bill Harden started many years ago. And that's how I got on with Danny, because he came to the group and said, hey, I'm making a film. I need people to do different things. And I actually, you know what, I'm finding now that my accounting background in spreadsheets and everything else has helped tremendously in the film thing, because I'm handling the production database. And so that helps me keep track of things. And, you don't, I used to discount. I said, no, I don't want to do accounting anymore. You don't discount it, but you take the skills that you might have from that, and it can parlay into your film stuff and the things you do as a producer. It's excellent, So I have some IMDb credits for these films, and I was like, man, it's really awesome to have that. And the work with the people. I'm always meeting different people through Big Apple. I've interviewed people throughout the country, and I have somebody in Ireland helping to screen submissions. So yeah, I'm learning something new every day, and it's kind of scary because I'm not used to doing it, but it's awesome.
This is no longer just volunteer. You're getting paid for some of these things now, right?
For some of these things, I am. Yeah. It was all volunteer, and I felt it was weird because I'm like, I feel guilty for doing something I really love doing, getting paid,
But you
but
got to
people
make a living.
exactly. I said, as long as I can pay the rent and, some, other things, that's fine. That's what I need. And I'm just, like, I was up late last night, I was looking at something, and, I don't mind the hours, years ago, I took computer graphics, and I was at my friend's house because I didn't even have a computer at the time. And I was working there till like 4 a.m, and they got up and said, hey, are you still here? I'm like, yes, but I loved it. And that's what it is with film. It's amazing what we're doing, and all the people we're meeting, and the community loves it. The community loves getting involved in film. We have so many people to thank for helping us do these films and, get it going and stuff like that. And we did a film during the pandemic. We were very fortunate to do that. I'm actually a certified compliance officer. I learned COVID and for sets, so I know how to do on sets and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, there's so many new skills. I'm learning something new every day. It's amazing.
So what advice would you have for folks who may say they're in a similar boat as you? Life has changed for them. They're 60 years old. They still have this burning something in them, but they're allowing the thoughts of I'm too old to actually pursue it. You are living your dream and walking into what I always love to say is the great destiny that you were created for. And so, what advice would you have for others?
I would tell them to look at it a different way. I mean, so many people said, I'm 60 and I want to wait. I even had a boss like that, just waiting for that retirement. I'm like, life doesn't end at whatever retirement age you have, 67 or something like that. If you're in pretty good health, then, there's so much more to do. When I was watching the one show, two of the actresses started at 50 there. One started at 60. And then, of course, Betty White was on there. She was 90. And it's like, she always chooses happy. And if you choose happy, you look at so many different, look at, asked my friend the other day, I said, if you weren't working the job you're working, what would you do? And she goes, well, I would do this, but this, and this. I'm like, you got to look at that, no, 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 and turn around and say, how can I do this? I mean, don't wait to the end. We always said, okay, I'm going to travel when I retire, and who knows what the situation is going to be when you retire. If I would have done that, I wouldn't have gone to Australia for a month. I wouldn't have gone to Hong Kong. I took 4 weeks off from work and I went to Australia. It was the trip of a lifetime. Don't wait. Don't wait for what you really want to do, and don't have regrets, because at the end you're going to have regrets, and that's not good. You know.
But what a great thing that you said. Okay, you weren't full time in film in your 30s or 40s. You were still working in it in your community, getting some volunteer work done. But isn't it interesting how it was sort of peeling back the onion layers and setting you up in all of the experience that you have as an accountant? I'm sure to understand the budgets and be able to put a film together, that accounting comes in handy too, but you're kind of making that pivot and that change, and you're proving not just to yourself, although I sometimes think that's the hardest person to prove it to,
Oh,
you're
definitely.
an inspiration for others.
Yeah, definitely. The hardest person, I always say it's like I'm finally getting out of the way of myself, you know, because I put so many roadblocks up from, like I said before, not good enough. I don't have enough experience. It's something I totally didn't do before. The more people I've talked to that have been in other, not everybody starts with, okay, young, I'm going to do theater film, and then I'm going to go to school for film and everything. Not everybody does that. Some of the best practical experience and life lessons in film you can get by just doing. That's why we have so many young people signing up to want to be PAs. I just want the experience. And to see you feed off of their energy, because they're like, I'm so excited to be doing this. I'm just be on set and I don't care what you need done. From the simplest things, tasks to whatever, it helps. Everybody helps. It's all big one group to help.
Just so people know, a PA in film is a production assistant, correct?
Yes. And that can cover many, many things. It can cover many, many areas. It can cover helping the art department, catering, the crew, like the camera people and everything else. It can help from wardrobe to art department. It can help so many different areas. There's so many different PA responsibilities, and we kind of define them, to help the person depending on their interest too. We try to place them in the best thing. Yeah. So they just to get that experience of being on there and seeing how a set works. It's like like a TV production or, any other production. It's neat to see how it works. And I've always been like, I love behind the scenes. I'm learning now camera angles and just different things. And once you learn behind the scenes, you never look at films the same way again, because they're like, I was watching a TV show. I'm like, oh my gosh, look, they had a green screen. She had a green shirt on. And then the next scene was a green screen because they needed like the Grand Canyon in the background. And so she had a gray shirt on for the next, it was supposed to be the same transition, but
That's continuity.
That's continuity. You got it. You got it. And I was like, oh, look at that,
You got it.
Yeah, yeah. And you look at that stuff now when you're looking at films, you look like, oh, they didn't do this, or they did the shoulder shot or something like that. So it's completely different, but it's exciting. It's exciting to watch it that way.
And I want to encourage you to share, because sometimes when we say the dream out loud in front of people, it's sort of, I always say you have to see it, you have to say it, and then when you say it out loud, all of a sudden you can't keep it inside anymore. What's your ultimate dream?
My ultimate dream is to have, and I've talked with this many people, to have like a film office in the Lehigh Valley. We have enough people that are working in film now. They're doing commercial work to do a living, but I mean, we just have such a great community. I see that through FIFO, the film organization, and Southside, the people that come. I ultimately want to do that. We're kind of working on that now. Nothing announced.
What's the role that you want to play in that?
Actually be running it. So
you want to be the executive director, or?
And actually people asked me to do that. So, I mean, it takes a village. And, there's things I'm looking at now. I just don't want to go jumping into it and say, here it is. And then people are like, well, can you do for me? So we want to kind of line it up a little bit more and know, what we need to do for it.
And when you say that, I got chills because I look back over your accounting experience, and you can't run an organization of any kind without understanding budgeting and how the numbers work out. Because I always say, if you can't fund the mission, you don't have a mission. And you understand that. And so, you mentioned along the way when you would be volunteering and doing things in film while you had the full-time accounting job, that people would often say negative things, and they discouraged you from going after it full time. Can you share some of that with folks, and how you see it as a stepping stone now?
I actually, yeah, even from family. I mean, my father passed away in 2006, and I was helping take care of him. And then when he passed away, I knew my mother needed the help. And I'm being the only girl in the family, I have two other brothers. I stayed with her until she passed away in 2015. And then, I was doing all the other organizations and stuff, like Tribeca at that time. I was working there and everything else. And even family sometimes will say, well, did you get another job? Did you get that, accounting thing? It's like, I said, I want to, this is my time to do something different. You need their support. You need the friends and family. And sometimes you get it from people in the film thing because they know they see what you're doing and stuff. So yeah, it's the accounting background has helped. I don't dismiss that. And I actually been doing one of my part-time jobs is doing some financials and stuff like that, just to help one of the organizations here, one of the groups here. So yeah, so you use it, you utilize it, and it really helps. You're detail oriented. It helps that, and it helps really keep track of everything. Like the receipts when we were doing Lucky Louie, I brought them all, did a spreadsheet, and said, "Here you go." So that helps with the budgeting because we want to keep track of things. So yeah, it's not dismissing it. It's definitely using it.
And a smart concept of, I often call it the side hustle. Like the day job, you got to keep a roof over your head, you got to keep
Yeah.
food, you need your car and insurance. And so you've got to have the day job to fund and help you work on the side hustle until the side hustle pivots and is doing so well that it becomes the full-time job. So it's a part of planning and preparation that is just really impressive how you've done it. And I just want to commend you. I just want to say I've watched you just on social media since I left the Lehigh Valley about 8 years ago. But I thank you for staying connected to me because I love seeing what you're doing, and I love your energy and your passion, and of course those dimples. You light up the screen, my friend. And so I'm so grateful. I want to give you a last word. What do you want people to know before we wrap up this time together?
Basically, don't look at the age. Let's put it that way. Don't look at your age. Look at how you feel and what you want to do. Because, I finally have let go of the fear, of the worry of trying to plan everything out. Like an accountant, like, okay, I'm going to plan everything out like a budget and stuff like that. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Have faith that, when you start doing things, the right people will come into your circle and help you out and lead to who knows what. Be open to all the things that are coming your way. And you have to be open to that. Don't have closed-minded and say, this person's not going to help, or I can't do. Just be open to everything, because you never know where one thing is going to lead to another.
And isn't that just the way life is? One thing leads to another. And I am going to keep watching you, my friend, and wish you all the not just success, but significance, and feeling that this next opportunity in your life is going to be the opportunity that, you're going to help a lot of other people. I always say that, and you said you read my book, The 7 Ds to Your Destiny.
Yes.
You don't know how you making your dream come true is the key to helping others' dreams come true. And I feel like you're living that.
Yeah, I think I just read, I was looking over a few things from your book, and I think one of them, and hopefully I'm not saying this wrong, was, people need you. You don't realize who needs to hear your story and needs that inspiration and needs that, push to give them into doing something. So you never know.
Okay, my film friend Ann Nur from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Congratulations, and thank
Thank
you
you.
for doing such a beautiful job of sharing your story and your inspiration with all of us. Have a fabulous day, and I look forward to seeing you soon, okay?
Thank you very much, Amy. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so you know what? There are so many great lessons that we learn from our failures, and I'm excited to have you share with us. And so, if you have a dirty F word story that you would like to share with me in the future, I would love, 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 love to hear your dirty F word. Okay? So, again, we're talking about failure, not that other dirty F word. Thanks so much, folks. And until next time, God bless and take care.